Welcome back to Level Up Lore. Today, we're talking about Rome, but not the Rome with emperors, gladiators fighting tigers, and Russell Crowe. We're talking about the Roman Republic, a system built on one massive golden rule. Absolutely, positively, no kings allowed. The Romans hated kings so much, they designed an entire government just to make sure nobody got too much power. Spoiler alert, it failed spectacularly. For centuries, the Republic worked. 2 consuls at the top, a senate full of old guys arguing, and a system of checks and balances. But by 133 BC, Rome had a massive problem. They had conquered too much stuff, and all the wealth went straight to the 1%. Enter the Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius. These guys looked at the massive wealth gap, the homeless veterans, and the corrupt billionaires and said, hey, maybe we should give some land back to the poor? The Senate's response? They beat Tiberius to death with wooden chairs. Literally, Senate furniture. A few years later, his brother Gaius tries the same thing. He also gets unalived. This was a turning point. Rome realized something terrifying. You don't actually need to win a debate if you have a mob and a heavy piece of wood. Fast forward a bit. The Republic is now a total mess. Politicians realize that the secret cheat code to power isn't passing laws. It's owning an army. Enter 2 generals, Marius and Sulla. Instead of soldiers fighting for Rome, they started fighting for the guy signing their paychecks. Sulla actually marches his army into the city of Rome, which was massively illegal, takes over, and posts proscriptions. That's a fancy historical word for a hit list in the town square. If your name was on it, anyone could take you out and claim a reward. Politics in Rome had officially evolved from, I disagree with your tax policy, to, I am going to murder you and take your house. This sets the stage for the ultimate toxic friend group, the First Triumvirate. You had Crassus, the richest man in history, who invented the fire department just so he could extort burning houses. You had Pompey, a military rock star. And then you had a young, highly ambitious guy with a receding hairline named Julius Caesar. These 3 secretly teamed up to rig the entire government, but villains eventually turn on each other. Crassus gets himself killed in the Middle East. Pompey gets his head handed to him in a basket in Egypt. And Caesar? He marches his army across the Rubicon River, says his famous line, the die is cast, and takes over Rome as dictator for life. The Senate, remembering their favorite hobby, stabs him 23 times on the Ides of March. They thought they saved the Republic. They actually just hit the self-destruct button. Caesar's adopted heir, a 19-year-old kid named Octavian, steps up. Everyone thinks he's a pushover. He is not. Octavian teams up with Mark Antony. They hunt down Caesar's killers, and then, shocker, they turn on each other. Antony teams up with Cleopatra. Octavian defeats them both, and suddenly Octavian is the last man standing. Octavian is smart. He knows Romans hate kings, so he doesn't call himself a king. He rebrands. He takes the name Augustus, calls himself the first citizen, and says, good news everyone, I restored the Republic. He absolutely did not. He just created the Roman Empire and installed himself as the sole ruler. The Republic was dead, not with a bang, but with a highly successful PR campaign. And that is how a 500-year-old democracy turned into an empire, because politicians decided hit lists and private armies were easier than voting. If you enjoyed this dive into the absolute chaos of Roman politics, hit that like button, subscribe to Level Up Lore, and let me know in the comments who was the most toxic Roman politician. See you in the next level.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं फिल्मोरा है ना।